Good morning. Virtual Coffee Club in a house. I'm going to give you a moment to grab your coffee. Let's connect today. As you join, please say hi in the comments. Let me know you're here today. Maybe, and it could be everybody turned off their computers today. They've decided to take that full break from social media today. That's all right. If you're here and you're hanging out for a couple minutes, please say hi in the comments. Good morning. Welcome to Virtual Coffee Club. Hello, Mike LaBelle. Haven't seen your face in a while. How are things? Hi, Kelly. Welcome. Howdy, Dwayne. Hey, Jim. Good morning. Oh, yeah, it is American Thanksgiving today. Happy Thanksgiving to you. No, tomorrow. What day is it? It's Wednesday. Tomorrow, I will wish you an official Happy Thanksgiving, Jim. I'm just going to give people about 10 more seconds and then we'll get started. All right. Well, welcome to Virtual Coffee Club. If you are brand new, we are so excited to have you join us. This is a place of connection, a place of positivity and kindness, and we are building community online through these crazy times. It is so important for us to stay connected with each other. Good morning, Auntie Gail. I miss you. Staying connected is what's going to be key for getting us through all of this craziness. Good morning, Eleanor. So we created Virtual Coffee Club, and we're here every single day at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time to make sure we stay connected. And I will do this as long as we need it. Okay? We are here for that. Wednesdays, Wild Wednesday. Wednesday's our day to have a bit of a free-for-all. We have dubbed them What the Fuck Wednesdays. It's your opportunity to let off a little bit of steam, to vent a little bit about something that's maybe bothering you, to accept that, yes, we have frustrations and we are human. Yes, we are people who are promoting kindness and positivity, but just like when you're on a diet and you need a cheat day, when you're expressing positivity and kindness and working on being better humans in this world, we also need a day to really sit in the humanness of this. And that sometimes is full of fucking frustrations, and we have them. And I think it's human, or it's healthy for us to express them. So for the next 18 minutes, we are going to vent our frustrations together. This is your opportunity to put out something that's pissing you off right now, to a what the fuck moment. I can't believe this is happening. We'll have a bit of conversation around that. When we're done Virtual Coffee Club, we move past our events and frustrations of the day the best we can, and we carry on with being gracious, beautiful human beings that we are. Does this sound good? Are you ready to vent? If you're in Alberta, I think you have some frustrations today because you just received sort of your latest news when it comes to COVID yesterday from the Alberta government. So I know that that's probably feeling a little heated. So a shout out to my fellow Albertans. If you would like to have some venting, Dallas, we might need longer than 18 minutes. It's the window today. I know that our friends in Manitoba, our friends in the Maritimes, our friends in Saskatchewan, like Ontario, everybody's having an interesting frustration moment. So today we're going to vent it out. So feel free to share in the comments if you would like to. A thought this morning that I had, good, bad, or otherwise. I don't really know where I'm at in it personally, my true self, but a thought I had this morning was, when did we become the society that wants the government to control everything we do? Now, you might say, fuck that, Jody. That is not who we want to be. We do not want the government to control us, but we do. Right? I spent time working in a project where our slogan was community building citizens, citizens building community. Not once in that time frame were we, what should the government do? How can the government make this better? We really need to lean into the government. The government needs to make this decision for me. Government, government, government. When in our, and point me out if there's a historical moment I'm missing, but when do we have an example of when we allowed government to completely control a situation, did it go well? And now I'm not anti-government by any means. I'm not anti-government. And I know that government is made up of citizens like you and I who have stepped into the role of leadership in their community because most of them want to make a difference and want to be better community builders. Okay, that's what I believe in my heart of hearts. That's what I believe why people run into government. Yes, there are assholes. Yes, there are people with agendas. Yes, there are people who you're not sure how they put on their shirt to get out the door in the morning. I get that. However, there are people who just want to help people be better community. And I don't know if there's an instance where when we hand over every decision-making factor to our government, that that's going to be the best solution. We have to be able to honor our personal freedoms. And yes, Carol says that. They're so important to hold on to. Kelly says people are puppets and they believe everything they hear on the media. And it's hard to have those moments. But if we were citizens engaged with each other, thinking about the whole, I feel as a body of citizens, we could make a real fucking difference. We could take control of protecting each other and what that looks like. And sitting back, like yesterday, everybody had anxiety. Everybody was sitting and waiting. Everybody was holding their breath in Alberta, waiting for that big announcement to come down. Why, as citizens, were we not taking control of what that could look like? And I want to say my what the fuck moment, and maybe I'm a little wound on that today, is for everybody who has become a keyboard warrior through this process, whether you're turning on each other, whether you're turning on the government officials, or what that conversation is looking like for you, I look forward to your campaign to run for those positions of government if you think you know every fucking solution, because we don't. This is an unknown. This is great. Do you know, like, could you tell me today, my thought was for so many people, and I don't go and attack conversations on social media because I don't believe that a lot of times people can have an open conversation where it doesn't get crazy, which I would love that. That's my dream of, our conversation in Virtual Coffee Club is I know that we will have opposing opinions in our little group, in our columns, in our comments. And I want us to be able to hear and listen and see their side. And if you want to be somebody who is solution driven, and you're the next member of parliament for us in our country, are you making decisions based, or is your keyboard comment coming out of what you think is best for you and your opinion and your place, or are you thinking of the whole? Because, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, my friends, perhaps, and I'll go out on a limb because it's What the Fuck Wednesday, and this is where we stick our toe a little bit further out, but perhaps a lot of the comment on that comes from a really privileged state of mind. And I don't say that I don't have that. I know that I get caught in my privilege all the time. When I make these comments, I do not exclude myself in the whole of the comment I am making. But if somebody wanted, just throwing it out there for sake of conversation today, for a what the fuck argument, okay? If somebody made the comment that they wanted everything to be completely shut down, the best solution for us as a society was to have 100% full-fledged, don't leave your homes locked down, okay? Maybe that is somebody's opinion. Fine. I would want to know how that person is making money. Now, because we have a lot of people who have opportunity where their work continues regardless of what happens through this situation. We have people who have life partners, who have jobs, who get to continue on regardless of the situation. And we have a whole group of people whose jobs are immediately affected by that, and they have no way of supporting their families. Yes, there's government aid, but we still pay for that. Now, Jim, you make a point about, and I'm not talking about white privilege here. You bring up that you don't have that. You don't feel like you have it. You don't feel like you have white guilt, which is fine. I'm not meaning white privilege when I say the word privilege. I mean privilege in general, right? We all have privileges based on, how we grew up, where we did, if we have money or if we don't, if we have access to benefits or we don't. Like, the privilege comes in a number of varieties. I don't mean this anything to do with race. In this particular instance of my conversation right now, I just mean in privilege of what that looks like, of like, I am grateful, and every day that I still get to continue to wake up, that I have work to do today that will continue regardless of the situation with COVID. So I'm still going to receive a paycheck, and I am so grateful. Not everybody in my world has that privilege, has that opportunity, has that peace. Do you know what I mean? And there's so many layers, you guys. And what I think the other sort of giggle that I had yesterday, because giggle was all I could do, was coming back to this mentality of the view of some of society, and not all. Like, I don't want to brushstroke everything, but it was, we wanted government to have this. So I'm going to use Alberta as an example because I was really following that news yesterday. But I know that this is happening in every single province and every single state and every single country around the world. But there was a trending hashtag at one point in Alberta of "Where is Kenney?" Right? People hadn't heard from the Premier of Alberta for a long time, and they were wanting him to come up, stand up, and give a message. And I giggled because it was, "Where is he? Speak, do what you got to say." And I tweeted about this yesterday. And then it was, "Oh, we don't like what you're saying. Stop talking. Fuck you. Go back to where you came from, Kenney." So you want to hear from him, but you only want him to say the things that you want to hear. And I don't know. My jury is out on what I think of what's happening with government truly. And Kenney is just the leader of that government. He is not the whole pinnacle piece of it. He is a part of the team. So I'm not going to individualize and hammer him down because he is being guided by the rest of that team. But come on, you're in a lose-lose situation if you're in those roles right now, don't you think? I mean, I even saw the local government in High River met this week, and we're having discussions around different pieces for that. And people were so, same kind of thing. They want to hear what you want to say, but they only want it to be what they want to hear. And that's an interesting mentality for me. It gave me a what the fuck moment. Not that I mean, they're welcome to that thought process. It just made me laugh because I was like, what's the win here? What's the solution? What happens next? How do we really make that work? Could we, as a society, just try some stuff? Could we just try? See what happens? Like, there was nothing that would have come down yesterday in Alberta that would have made people happy. There was nothing that's come down in any of our provinces, states, or countries around the world that is going to make everybody happy. Pure happiness for all people is an impossible scenario. But could I throw it back that happiness is what we choose? You know what I mean? Like, could we own some of that? Could we own, like, I think it comes back to us as people. We have to own that scenario. If you have any symptoms or you're not feeling that great or you have a headache, it's up to you to make the decision to protect your community and stay home for that time frame. If you're working at a place that would not honor that, you need to speak up from that. And I know that's hard. And I know I say that from a place of privilege, in that I don't have that scenario and I don't know what that looks like. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, but think about all the players. I mean, yesterday it was really, and I think all the businesses are facing this. Think about our business owners for a minute. They've faced the decision of being completely closed, like some have been in other areas of the country, going into the season that carries them through probably 50% of their year. And we want that to just be okay. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm okay with, okay, there's some more enhanced restrictions, but I can still go shop and support my local stores, which are the ones that support and keep the backbone of my community going. And if I have to wait a little bit, like I have to wait in my car a little bit longer before I can go in, or whatever that looks like, or I'm going to call them and order my shit online, yeah, I'm going to do that. And I'm grateful that our local businesses in my community get to stay open. I am. I didn't want everything to be completely shut, because you know what? When we come out of this next year, when we are rolling back to building our community back, we need those businesses, you guys. We need them. You're going to do a silent auction. I think of, Kelly's saying, please shop local, right? I think, Kelly, this is a great example. Kelly is an avid member of the Canets in her community. They are currently doing a raffle to fundraise so that they can help support charities in our community. What are they raffling? Items that were donated to them by local businesses. What you gonna raffle if they're all fucking closed? You know what I'm saying? So again, there's this weird, and I don't know, I don't have the solution. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what the answer was for that, but could we try a couple things and just, fuck, right? Okay, it's your turn to talk, because I think I rambled for the whole time. Cheryl says, why does the government think they can make decisions such as what are essentials, where we go, how or what the fuck, why now? Why not right from the beginning? Yeah, it's a good valid point. And from the beginning, they didn't know. They didn't know. Would you have known back in March when we had no idea, no example to go by, and no, ugh. Darling, I was cleaning the kitchen and remembered it was Wednesday. So what the fuck? Kitchen work can wait. Good morning. Yeah. That's the fun thing about kitchen work, isn't it, Darlene? Is it's always just waiting for us. Just waiting for us. Carol shares that her fear around this one bubble household includes domestic violence situations and child abuse situations. I think if you live in a home where that isn't something that could happen, there's an example of your privilege, because not everybody lives in a household where the household is a safe place. Okay, think about that. Think about that for a sec. So again, or think about the people in your lives, too, depending on, I think the numbers may be shifted in different places wherever you are, but we have people who are like single people, and they're allowed to have one and or two friends who are allowed to visit them through the lockdown period. What if, what if my best friend works in a highly exposed situation on the front lines, or my one and only friend, or my partner, or my significant other that doesn't live in my household with me, or whatever that looks like? What if they don't choose you back to be in their bubble, right? Because there's this interesting thing, right? That we got people feeling weird with each other. And then my last what the fuck thought, but I really do want to hear more from yours. But my last what the fuck thought this morning is this sort of vibe that is going on in different areas. I don't think it's happening here as much in Alberta, but I know it's definitely being promoted via the stuff I see out of Manitoba. And I don't know, I know we have some Manitobans on here, so I would love to hear from you. But this whole scenario of reporting your neighbor and telling on your neighbor and turning on your neighbor to tattle. Citizens building community, community building citizens. I want you to say that over and over and over in your head. And I can see where perhaps a government official or whoever's decision that was to roll down the pipe that you should report on your neighbors, and here's the hotline, and we're going to create secret police to investigate people to hold them accountable. There's an interesting line of holding people accountable, and it's just getting fucking crazy. And my thought to you is, who is looking out for your place when you go on holidays? Who is watching your kids in the neighborhood if cars are going too fast or just keeping their eye out? Who waters the plants for you when you decide to take a couple of days away? Who's there to borrow a cup of sugar, an egg, or whatever? Who are the ones who are there for you 24/7 in your community? Your fucking neighbors. So your neighbor decides that they are going to have a social gathering, or, in America, they have Thanksgiving tomorrow, or somebody decides not to follow the rules and they have people over in their home. You're going to call and report them. Yeah, it's frustrating. We've had this conversation before about rule followers versus non-rule followers. And maybe you want to what the fuck express that for a moment into the comments. And I get it. But I really don't feel the solution is turning on your neighbors. Could you connect with them about it and have a conversation? 100%. Can you, if they choose to do that, keep your physical distance from that neighbor and just not, maybe you don't go have drinks with them or whatever that looks like? Like, you have a choice in this, but think about all the pieces of it. Don't react and just to call. Same with if a business, if you walk into a business and that business is not following COVID protocols, do you report that business and potentially get them shut down? You're in there for a reason. You want to be a part of that business community. So is that the solution for that? I don't know, you guys. And it's a hard one. I 100% get it. Because we want to keep each other safe. The emotion behind this that is driving, that is fueling, that is creating the chaos that we're seeing and feeling in this is coming from a place of fear, but it's also coming from a place of concern. Now, there can be fear-based decisions being made. And again, we're only human. But there's also concern in there that, I've seen a lot of people. I've had quite a few people in my circle of life sharing their COVID positive diagnosis of late. And I am so proud of them for sharing because it's hard. And most people, like the most common denominator in this is that they have felt so shameful and so awful to have to call people and tell them that they may have potentially exposed them. Guys, we got to be loving each other right now. And it's hard. Kelly says, worry about you and not anyone else. Cheryl, they gave us a chance to adult. Some couldn't do it, so they have to adult for us. Yeah, and I half agree with that, Cheryl. I do. But at the same time, right? It's hard. It's hard. It's an interesting piece, and we're going to have these frustration moments. And I want you to continue, whether you've been watching this and you haven't had a chance to comment yet, feel free to share. Again, this is a safe place to vent those frustrations. And if we disagree with each other of what's posted into the comments, you are welcome to your disagreement. You're welcome to your difference of opinion. But in Virtual Coffee Club, we stay kind. Okay? That's the only rule that is a part of Coffee Club, is we stay kind. So if I want to say to Cheryl, I 100% disagree what you're saying, but I appreciate your opinion. Okay? That's a kind way to disagree with Cheryl's opinion. I don't have to say, Cheryl, Were you born yesterday? What the fuck? Right? You don't have to be mean about it. Just disagree. Kathy's what the fuck. She's pissed that her child has to convert now to online learning. She's like her mom. She's very social. We'll get through this storm, but it sucks ass. 100%. And you know what? We have to take the moment, Kathy, thank you for that, to say, you know what? The decision for those grades 7 to 12 sucks ass. Say it out loud. Like, get it off your chest for a second, because it's this flipping back and forth. And I see the sides. I see the arguments. I see it, but it still sucks ass. Heather says it's gotten so out of control, and it's a sad time if you have to report your neighbor. And you know, I've said it before in Coffee Club, in the work that I've done in disaster recovery, it is proven. There is scientific research behind communities that have neighbors that are connected to each other are the ones that overcome. I've talked to people from Red Cross who've gone in emergency disaster recovery situations and Samaritan, and they all say the same thing. The communities where people knew their neighbors, knew them well enough to have conversation, to connection, to build community within your neighborhood, those communities are the ones that overcome. Let that sink in for a second, because that's how we're going to get through this. Yeah, you might have an asshole neighbor who constantly breaks the rules and you're pissed off and you're tired of it. Vent about them in here on Wednesdays. This is your spot. But don't, like, God, guys, don't become, it's almost like the snitch scenario of prison. I mean, I hope nobody's going to say snitches get stitches. Only because I've only wanted to say that before, not that I believe it, but let's not go to those extremes. But like, fuck, come on. Okay, I've gone way over our 20-minute time slot, my friends, but I want you to still, if you're catching this video later and you're not live, please still post in the comments. We are creating community through these videos, and this is our opportunity to share that. So vent those things out. And you know what? What I also feel is a great learning tool from the venting in the comments is you can see what other people are venting about. Because you know what? Somebody else might have a perspective or a scenario or a challenge or something that you don't have. And then you're like, wow, I never thought about that. That's an interesting perspective. I can learn from that. You guys, we're here to learn from each other. We don't know what every person is dealing with behind their closed door. We don't know where everybody's sitting at with their mental health capacity and status. We don't know where people are sitting at in their finances. We don't know where they're sitting with their stress. We don't know what their relationships look like in their life. We don't know what their kids are like. We don't know. But we can love, we can support, and we can be kind. And we can still vent. So feel free to post that into the comments. I appreciate you. And again, let's learn from each other. Let's learn when somebody posts, if you're not somebody with kids in grades 7 to 12, seeing Kathy's post about her kid having to switch back to online learning by the end of this week, like it's a quick shift for them. That's a big challenge for that family. And if you don't have kids that face that, would you have thought of that piece? Probably not. You don't even listen to the education portion of the report, right? We focus on, because we are human, the piece that affects us directly the most. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. But let's take a minute and think about the other sides of the story, if we can. Just my thoughts today. I wore my wild pants so we could get wild on What the Fuck Wednesday, and it is what it is. My last thought to you today is, please know, if you are feeling your feelings, the frustration, the disappointment, right? Disappointment is a strong emotion. It's almost stronger than anger, in my opinion. If you are feeling them and you are able to express them, that is healthy. Okay? It is healthy. Not being able to express your emotions, completely shutting down, that's where it becomes an unhealthy challenge. So if you're able to vent and you're able to express those emotions, you guys, that is healthy, and I'm proud of you. Continue to be kind, but use today's video as an opportunity to get it off your chest and blow off a little bit of steam. And just know, you guys, we are going to get through this. It's scary. I get it. But we know how to do this. We know how to do this. We got through it before. We're going to get through this portion. And we're going to end 2020 awesome. We are. We're going to take on 2021 by storm as this connected, resilient, incredibly strong community of people. And we are going to do this. But for today, what the fuck? Just vent it out. Have a good one, my friends. And I will see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time.